Hello, and thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for inviting me. Okay, this feels a little unreal that I'm standing here on this stage, on this red circle, about to give a talk, because when I actually received the invitation for this event, I thought it might be a mistake. That was not meant for me, actually. Why? Because my name is Ritu Kumar, as I've been introduced, and I'm in fashion. But there's another Ritu Kumar who's also in fashion, and she's much more famous than I am. And I do end up getting a lot of invitations which are actually meant for her. So when I received this invitation, I was like, okay, don't get too excited because this might not be for you. But it turns out it's for me. So here I am and let's start. Now, when I was younger, I asked my mom to change my name many times. I even gave her a few options. Can you call me Ria? No. Can you call me Leila? No. Anyway, when I grew up and started a fashion label, I couldn't use my own name. So I called it Oh Leila from the song Leila Me Leila. The one. So a lot of people think my name is Leila, including I think Radhika did. And they address me as Leila. And I love it. Coming back to fashion, I've been doing fashion for 25 plus years now. And what I've come to realize is that being an older woman in fashion limits the availability of stylish modern clothing. Because what is considered as modern or stylish clothing is usually very fitted and meant for women with much smaller bodies. Now, as older women, we don't have those smaller bodies anymore. I'm 51 and most of my clients are between 40 to 75. And now some of them are getting introduced to menopause, while others have finished with it a long time back. And menopause is tough on most women, and it can get really challenging and last many years. There are two especially irritating things about menopause. The first is the hot flashes, the palpitations, the sweating, the feeling of claustrophobia, and you can't wear anything fitted. But at least it goes away. It stops at some point. The second most irritating thing about menopause is the weight gain. Yes, everybody puts on weight on the stomach and on the hips, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can diet, we can exercise, but it doesn't go off or doesn't stay off. It keeps coming back. Now we can hope and we can wish that was not the case, that we had the perfect bodies and that we looked young forever. It's not practical. So instead of trying to fit into clothes that basically worked when we were younger, pre-menopause, I think it's time to shift your style into something new that works for your changing body. And I'm going to give you 5 tips now on what that means when you go shopping. Those are the changes that I made in my wardrobe, and those are the changes that we make when we make our clothes. Now, I remembered a small acronym, which is nothing as cool was, or what the previous one. This one makes no sense. It's just MPSS. M stands for monotone looks. Monotone basically one color. All black, all white, all red, all gray, all navy, but also adjacent colors. Navy and black, beige and ivory, gray and black. What this does, it makes you look longer, it makes you look leaner, and makes you look classier immediately. Let me give you an example you can visualize. Suppose you want to hide your tummy and you want to hide your hips. Now you're going to wear black because that's the best camouflage color, yeah? But you're going to wear it with a light colored pants or white pants. What that does is it's going to create a difference point, contrast point. And I am going to be looking right there where you don't want me to look. So that doesn't work. But you wear that with gray pants and you're going to be one line of color. So there's nothing standing out. So that automatically makes you look more stylish. The second thing is pleats. Pleats is when we add a pleat or gathers at the back of a garment. This makes it loose around the belly so it doesn't stick. S for shirts, especially for working women. Now shirts typically tend to be more classic fitted, which are tapered in the waist. But if you don't have a waist anymore and it's replaced by a stomach, then that shirt doesn't work because the buttons are trying really hard to stick together. It's not a good look. So look for a shirt that is boxy fit or maybe goes A-line. Now I know some of them are available now, so you can find them. Another third one, this will probably be the fourth one, is another S, which is the sitting down test. Now this was told to me by one of my clients. When you go buying clothes, when you try them on, make sure you sit. because then you will come to know if it's getting tight on the hip and the stomach, and it's going to make you uncomfortable. When we design our clothes, we make sure it's at least 6 to 8 inches looser here, so that when you sit, it doesn't stretch across. So that's the sitting test. And the final is the shoulders, because along with the waist and the stomach, we end up putting on weight on our upper arm. And being in Delhi, Punjabis, yes, upper arms, back of the back. So extended shoulders like what I'm wearing. There's no armhole. Or you have raglan sleeve. This makes it look more modern because all the modern cuts have that, and it's more comfortable. So these are my 5 tips for when you go shopping and when you're looking for new wardrobe. Remember, the thing that is most important is having self-confidence. All these 5 things work much better if you have inner confidence. So what is inner confidence? It comes from self-love, accepting who you are, where you are, at whatever age you are, and however you look. 5 tips to looking stylish all the time. First one, inner confidence. Second tip to looking stylish all the time is being well groomed all the time. It takes a bit of work, but if you make sure your hair, your nails, your feet are always well taken care of, then you will come across as well groomed. Who over here has chipped nail polish? Who doesn't have time to go to the parlor and get the nail polish done? I used to be that person. I stopped coloring my nails because I find it very, very time consuming. Because I work with fabric a lot, it chips a lot. So now I don't put any nail polish. I just think it's neater. Whatever works for you. But just be more well groomed in general. The third tip to being well groomed all the time is having stylish and comfortable clothing in your wardrobe. But what is stylish and comfortable clothing? It's what works for you at your self-confidence level, at your body shape. Not what works for your friend or that actress or because it's in trend. You have to create your look based on your structure and how comfortable you are, whether you want to wear cleavage or a mini skirt or not. Be covered head to toe, like me. I'm very happy. So develop your own personal style. The fourth thing is footwear. Very, very underrated. But having the correct footwear with the correct outfit can make or break your look. So you need to learn for your shape which footwear goes with what kind of outfit and your height and other things that balance your proportion. Final thing is not in your wardrobe. And I'm going to share a story. The fifth thing that you need for your wardrobe
is actually not in your wardrobe. Last Diwali, I got invited to a party. Rather, my friend got invited to a very fancy party. And she asked me to accompany her. I wasn't doing anything much. So I said, okay, I'll come along. Let's try. The invite said Diwali class. So I picked up lovely yellow outfit as Diwali. And she was going to wear a pastel pink outfit because that's the color she likes.
She picked me up and we went. As we got down from the car, we were given a glass of wine while they checked our name in the register and they gave us entry bands. Now, the party was at the most fanciest pub in Bombay, rooftop. And the guest list was supposed to be the most elite people from the city. So anyways, we get in the lift, we go up. And as we go up and the lift doors open and I stepped out and I had a shock because it was a sea of black and grey and beige and pastels. And I was wearing yellow, bright yellow. I stood out like a light bulb in a dark room, literally. And I was so uncomfortable. Now, I could have gone and sat in the corner and said, no, I can't do this, or go home. Like, I can't. But after that 30 seconds of shock, I started laughing. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go out and have a blast because it was a beautiful party. There was a very famous musician playing live there. There were beautiful people around. There was free wine for offer, free cigars for offer. So we went ahead and had a blast. We danced, we made friends. And by the end of the evening, no one cared that I was wearing yellow while they were wearing black. My friend didn't care. And what I want to say is collect friends like that. My friends who are in my life are the ones who like me for who I am inside, not how I'm dressed or how young I am or how old I am, how fashionable I am. And they are the ones who will prop you up and who will be there for you and who will give you the confidence to go out and do dumb stuff in your life. So you need that set of friends. So I came onto Instagram when I was 48. I started modeling for my own brand and I posted my first video on Instagram in June 21. It was lockdown. I was already silver haired by then. And I'd been watching a lot of these videos which were full of young, confident women. And I kept thinking to myself, oh, if only I'd been 10 years younger, I would have shown them. Then a voice inside me said, what's stopping you now? Maximum, what will happen? People will laugh at you. Kind of what's happening now. They won't like your videos. They won't buy your clothes. But until you don't try, you won't know. So yoga day was coming up. And my mom's a yoga instructor and I do yoga. So I decided to make a video of myself doing yoga while wearing one of our dhoti pants. And I posted it on Yoga Day. I got 6 orders for those pants on that first video. And I had found a way to make my money during lockdown and everything was closed. This kept my business afloat. And I was really, really happy to do that. But when I started making these videos, I made 2 promises to myself. One was I would only do it if it was fun, if it remained fun. If it became a pressure, if it became a negative experience, I would stop. The second promise I made to myself was I wouldn't make videos about myself. I did not want to put a video, oh, look how pretty I am. No, no. Look how thin I am. No, no. That's not what I want to put out there. Because frankly, what people think of how I look doesn't bother me at all. Because I've been very good looking for many number of years and very bad looking for many number of years before that. So your look keeps changing. You can't get attached to it. I decided to go silver and stop coloring my hair because I got fed up. Because I had been coloring my hair since college. I grayed really early. That's decades of coloring. My scalp was burning. My hair quality had gone really bad. And running to the salon before every event was really becoming irritating. But it was pre-lockdown, fully functional right now. Working woman in fashion, meeting clients, meeting colleagues. I decided I have to do this for myself. I have to take care of myself first and foremost. And what anybody else thinks of that is not my problem. So I gave myself permission to go ahead and stop coloring my hair. I went on to Pinterest and I found some photos of women with silver hair who looked gorgeous and so classy. And I was hoping I would end up looking like one of those. I saved those photos on my phone. And 1.5 years of transition, which is what everybody is most afraid for when you go from brown to silver. The only thing I received was appreciation. Oh, we love your guts. I wish we had your guts. And that was what I needed, along with the photos on my phone. 1.5 years later, I'm done. I have silver hair, and now I become an Instagram model. And that's my story.